Hello boys and girls, it's me, your hosty with the mosty, and I'm on my way to see Thor, Love and Thunder. So, a little bit of background on this. I fucking could not stand Thor Ragnarok when I first watched it. I've grown to sort of see its strengths since. It's kind of funny and there are moments, but my biggest problem with it was that you're basically dealing with a very tragic story. Now, Ragnarok was a series that was tagged into the Avengers Disassembled line, and it was basically they're coming to really understand that Ragnarok needs to happen, but the journey of growth that Thor goes through in that series is just phenomenal. There's a point whereby he goes to the was it like the fucking knowledge tree, the world tree, whatever it is, and asks how he can prevent Ragnarok, and it basically says you need to make sacrifice. And he looks at his dad who's lost his eye, so he plucks out an eye and gives it to the giving tree, and nothing happens. So he's like, right, I can't just match my father because that's a gesture, I need to really sacrifice. And he fucking plucks out his other eye and nothing happens. And in that scene he says, now I am both a fool and blind. One of the most pertinent series of panels, one of the most pertinent lines in any Marvel comic I've ever read. It's just beautiful. I really, I'm quite attached to the Thor character. My point of discussion for anyone that says, yeah, but it's fine, the IP needed rescuing. Now, I don't think it did need rescuing. I really like Thor Dark World. The reason why I think that got pilloried is because of this. Before the success of the Avengers, people were like, oh fucking hell, do we really need a Thor film? And I think there was an element that after Avengers, so people didn't have to accept that, oh, actually this was going somewhere and we shouldn't have been so quick to judge, that they're going, yeah, but Thor's still shit, we weren't wrong about Thor's still shit. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of pretense in the way that people address Dark World. So then we get to Ragnarok, and sorry, yeah, the point of discussion that I always say to people with why, fuck me, with why it didn't work. So I say, okay, we'll see how people like it if that's what they do to Black Panther 2. People will see it as disrespectful, not really being true to the character and all this sort of stuff. I mean, Thor is a bit of a buffoon, but I object to Chris Hemsworth being called legitimately funny. He never tells jokes, he just says silly things in a silly voice. It's kind of like conversational humour, in the same way that if your mate tried to do stand-up, he'd die on his fucking arse. But he is funny in the group, and it's kind of like in jokes that we don't quite know yet. So anyway, getting on to the actual film, Love and Thunder. Now, for me, it concerns me that it's such a bleak story, and let's not forget, Odin died in the previous film, had nowhere near the emotional mark of God, I can't remember what his mum's name is, something Figa, isn't it? Figa or something like that. And like, nowhere near the emotional impact. And there's so many beats in this that were just in juxtaposition to the tone, they were just completely wasted. Now, I know that we can't, there's expectation and speculation, I get that, but this is the only time that we'll have that Ragnarok story told, and it was disappointing to me. I did take it personally that it was wasted, and I feel that if this is sillier, which it's supposed to be, how is he possibly going to marry in a cancer-ridden Jane Foster into this? Also, the story of Gore's a really tragic story, so I'm very apprehensive. I got my ticket at the last minute, didn't book it days or weeks in advance for this one. I got back from a few site visits and thought, yeah, let's go and check it out. We've got a couple of hours spare now, so very apprehensive. I'm not massive. I like Taika Waititi. I mean, look, that was more the next Taika Waititi film than it was the next in the MCU. So hesitant that he is adaptable enough. Will it trample the Jane Foster? Did we need to put Gore and Jane Foster in the same one? Completely different arcs of Jason Aaron. I mean, he did what, 50, 100 issues, so we didn't need to compress all that. I'm apprehensive, but I am nonetheless intrigued to see how it goes. So there you go, peepos. I will report back after the film. Right, try and keep this short. I fucking hated that film. I go as far as to say I'm emotionally opposed to it. It's just puerile to the point of stupidity. It clashes tones with everything that I hoped it wasn't going to be, but kind of thought it would be. It was. Like I said, the tones clash between Jane Foster and the ridiculousness of Thor. And I don't fucking think that saying something in a voice so matter-of-factly actually makes it funny. It's just silly. It's like the worst kind of juvenile humour. There's no setup, there's no punchlines. It's just a procession of silly things. Even the core character in this was just atrocious. The whole I'm fuming now that the three most prominent Thor arcs of the last 20 years have just been bollocksed in 2 films. I walked out after 30 minutes and I thought I'd collect myself and see if I actually go back in. We're doing a review on Saturday, so in 2 days' time for the podcast. So I had to go back in. But when Natalie Portman's an Academy Award winning actor, and she's doing Willy jokes. It's just a really... even the Guardians of the Galaxy in it were left as like totems or golems or whatever you want. I wouldn't even pick out one strong performance. And again, the mid-credit scene is just here's another character. Let's leave it there.